Traders, what's going on? Kyle Fisher here with another market update. Hopefully you're doing well. We have been on a tear recently. Before getting into the watch list, the positions that are currently open, TK, well, we closed today for 15%. I want to go through where we're at with the overall market. So what you're looking at currently is the Dow as of today's. The highs that we've been saying, after the election, the bull flag here, the breakout was expected for a day or two. I frankly didn't expect to, test all the way to 19,200. That said, we are completely over bought at this point. Today you saw massive selling in the afternoon session across the board. We're very much overbought in all of the indicators that I follow. You're starting to see or you have been seeing a divergence in the MACD versus price, which is one indicator that I really look for to say, okay, you're about to see a shift in terms of the price. You're definitely starting to see this MACD indicator cross. Two things that I look for on top of that really though are a kind of breakdown in volume or a spike in volume with this flag, or with this specific tail. So what that says is, granted, we finished up the day 2 points, but the majority of this was selling in the afternoon. So I think we're going to pull back here. My initial target is going to be the support in this area here where we saw the bull flag. So right around the 13 EMA, probably another 150, 200 points down. We'll probably see some support there, but then I think overall we'll probably shoot back down, break through 19,000, and probably test 18.8 to 18.6. So right now, obviously, I'm not too excited to look for new longs, but we're going to scan for both shortly just to get a sense of what opportunities are out there. So with that, let's take a look at TK. So TK, we closed for 15% today. We timed it literally perfectly in the morning session. I think we were in this for 11 days. Saw the buy signal right around here when we crossed the 13 EMA. We went long, I think in the low 7s. We closed, I think, at 8 today. Let me pull out the alert real quick. Excuse me. Yeah, so we closed at 8.28. So, perfect trade for us. 15% in less than a week. I actually got a few messages from you guys saying that a lot of you got in a much lower because the stock kind of dipped after we went long at 721. So a lot of you, I think, had a 20+% return. Obviously, that's freaking awesome. So congrats if you were one of those people. Even if you're not, even if you had 10%, 11%, obviously, it's a positive trade. So something I'm pretty excited about. So that's what we closed today. Let's go through the rest of our positions. First, Etsy, one where we're actually down 3%, I think, in. Got a few questions in this on why aren't we closing, and I think we're not, because we're holding support at the 200-day moving average. Granted, we broke down through 50 here in the RSI, and we're seeing a retracement in the Williams indicator. I think what we're seeing here is literally the pullback today saw some buying. That's why you see the flag here, or the long tail. But, this rally from 11 all the way to 13, obviously you're talking, 20, 25%. It's going to pull back a little bit. I think that's leg 2. Leg 3, I think, is when we go back up and re-break, this 13.35 high. So let's see how this works. Let's see how this plays out. I'm not really too concerned with this yet. Like I said, I think the upside here and the risk-reward warrants, staying in the position. So for the time being, we're still in this as long as support here holds. Moving on to our next position, SEI or SIEN, excuse me. Several long tails here, and one thing that I think we need to see a lot more volume come in here, like I've been saying a few times, but similar to Etsy, the strong surge of $1.50 from 7 all the way to 8.75, the pullback, and I think that's the next leg up, is going to break through to 9. Volume is still very low here, but the average volume in this is, I think, a little bit north of 100,000 shares a day. So it's not terribly off of that. but it's a very liquid position. The movements are very scattered. So really what probably is happening here is you're seeing a lot of people putting buy orders down here. There's not much activity, so the person running the position or the equity, the market maker, is just filling these orders, and that's why you're seeing it bounce right back up. So really the trend here in terms of Williams, RSI, as well as MACD, they're all up. So for the time being, we're going to continue to hold this. We got in the 790s, I think, or 780s. So right now we're in a positive return. I think we're up, 4 or 5%. So we're going to continue to hold this position. No really major updates with this yet. One other position that we re-entered today, you're probably familiar that we closed Watt for 4% earlier in the week. I really like this position. The one thing that kind of was a little bit aggravating is, we tested 1620 and 1630 in the morning session after we went long. We alerted the long, I think, at 1571. So I got a 1450 mental stop. The initial target is going to be 17, but the trends here are all positive. They're all bullish. We saw the cross here in the 13 and 20 EMAs. The bounce here is really, pretty perfect. You see 5 or 6 up days, 3 days pulled back. Then you're going to hopefully see the rally to 18 to make new highs and to test the zone up here of 18 to 20, where we'll probably net 20-25% again. So obviously that's very nice setup, great reaction after we went long to see it rally. That's always a very key thing to look out for, is what does it do right after you go and enter the position. Chances are 9 times out of 10, if you enter the position and it trades down, it's going to be a losing position. It's very rare that it rallies after that point. So very, very bullish on this. Might be a potential re-add. I rarely do that, but I like keeping capital free for new opportunities, which segues into what currently is out there. So again, just to recap, at the macro level, I am definitely a little bit bearish in terms of what's out there, but I ran this bull scan just to take a quick look of what's out there. So CYS, let's take a look. Alright, don't like this at all. It broke back down today. Too choppy in that downward trend. Want to do it. ARLZ. Alright, this is an interesting setup. Coming out of that completely oversold zone. If history repeats itself, and I say this all the time, it flagged here out of the zone, being way oversold, and rallied about 100% in a month and a half. Obviously, I'm not saying that I could do that again, but similar to Watt and Etsy, you see the rally up, it pulls back 3 or 4, 5 days and starts to rally up again. The one thing that's a little bit concerning with this is 2 things. One, it's a pharmaceutical. I typically don't really like those. Just because news can pop out about any of their products, and it can either gap down or gap up pretty quickly. The second thing is you have this black candle here. Excuse me. So I've gotten a few questions about that in the past. Of all right, you have the red, obviously that's a down day. You have the white, obviously it's an up day. What's the black? The black is usually when it gaps, and then it trades the opposite way, but still closes positive for the day. So it basically gapped up, but then closed down for the day. So it really isn't telling. I just kind of want to wait probably tomorrow morning. I'll add this to the watch list to take a look at it. So conversely, let's kind of look for maybe 1 or 2 shorts. Actually, no, let's narrow down the price range a little bit, or increase it. What I'll do is I'll run a different subset of scans for shorts. This video is getting a little bit lengthy, and I will add that to the watch list. Alright, so 2 things right here that I'm looking at, PRGRE and then PKY. Look at PKY first. All right, this already really made its move. Yeah, too choppy. I mean, interesting gap play here. It was probably a great short at that time. But, you know, the cup here potentially could form a cup and handle if we see this trade sideways. So I'll keep this on the long-term watch list. Right now, I don't think it's something I would trade for a swing in the short term. All right, let's look at, what was the other one? PGRE. Not much to do here. The 200-day moving average is pretty strong resistance, so I probably would not add this to the watch list. So just to recap, it sounds like we have one or two positions to add. Actually, just one. So the AR LZ Pharmaceutical Company I'll add to the watch list. So again, any questions, shoot me an email. Just to recap, you know, in the short term, I'm bearish on the market. I think we're going to pull back. I'll run short scans tonight and add those positions to the watch list. But our open positions are pretty solid, and Teak was a huge winner again. You know, we've been on a tear recently with some of our winners, so congrats if you're in that. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and we will talk tomorrow.